Fieldsports Britain. Coming up, how many animals and birds do we shoot and catch? We reveal the results of our humongous global hunting survey. Lord above, or should that be pheasant over? We talk to Lord Shaftesbury about fancy fowl. We have news, we have hunting YouTube, we have Hallo Charlie. First, it feels a bit like EastEnders. Did our own Roy, Pat Butcher Lupton, get on top of the foxes that evaded him last week? All right, Roy? A week ago we were calling foxes here. We saw half a dozen but only shot the one. Tonight our creature of the night vision Darren Rogers is joining us with his own NV setup, plus thermal. Roy Lupton's approach is old school. He's using the lamp. He and Darren will share the shooting, but first, we upset Roy last week suggesting he looked like he'd soiled himself. This was of course untrue, and we regret any upsets that we might have caused.
We've come back even after the barracking and the insults that I received on last week's Fieldsports channel from David just because I was having a go about him not being able to drive a four-wheel drive. Yeah, bearing that in mind, we're meant to be going out foxing, but I think the main mission for tonight is going to see if we can knock David off the back of the Argo. So we'll see what happens, and we'll do that in between, hopefully shooting a fox or two.
Roy, Darren, Jim and David squeeze into the Argo Cat, with David hanging on for dear life, and turn into the field where we filmed the pair of foxes in the frost just a few days earlier.
What we're going to do now is we're going to use the electronic call, because it'll be a different call. Hopefully they'll respond to that and come back out. We're going to keep it completely covert, so we're just going to be using the IR, the infrared illumination. And so David's going to act as spotter, and then hopefully Darren can hone in if they do come in and take the shot. So we'll start off the caller and hopefully we'll get one or two customers. Second one's in play still. Well done.
It proves that foxes will hold an area. It's worth revisiting spots where you see signs of fox.
They came straight out again from almost the same line. Came into the field, so we got the shots on those. And then we'll just leave the caller going for a little while longer and just see if we've got anybody else coming out. Well done. Well, thank you, Royston.
Before we pick them up, we see another set of eyes. It's a game of cat and mouse. The fence, the trees, and an odd chap who is flicking a torch around the lane, plus backstop issues, means it is tough going.
That was a shame. We just went down to pick up the foxes that we just shot, and we saw another fox that was obviously coming in. And he just stopped in this field. We tried to get on him, but Darren couldn't get a clear shot because he was the other side of the fence. And then Darren just tried to edge into the fence line to get a shot on him again there, and he didn't like it anymore and decided that enough was enough and headed off into the trees there. So we might pick him up a little bit later on, but we'll go and retrieve these two foxes and then head off to the next side.
This one lives to fight another day, so we return to pick up the others.
Yep, there he is. That's definitely the same couple. That's definitely the dog fox out of the pair that we called in the other day. It's actually quite sad. It was quite pretty watching those the other morning, but at least we've accounted for those two. And as I say, there's another one that was just coming into this field, so hopefully we'll come back a little bit later after we've done the rest of the estate, and we might catch up with that one again. David was saying that one was looking a bit itchy, so it might have a touch of mange, so it'd be nice to get that one as well.
Back in the Argo, which is becoming more arg than go as we hit the bumps and turn on a sixpence. It's not long before we flick the lamp across some more eyes, which are skylined. The fox runs downhill, but with a mouth call and the night vision, Darren bags another.
Yeah.
then another.
He was just heading off back as Darren got ready for the shot. Just squeaked him and he turned and Darren got the shot off. As the shot went off, I was scanning with a thermal and another one came out of the bushes and went to the right, and we were able to start squeaking him, and he came up and we had a fantastic response from him. So that's number 4 for the evening, and we've still got quite a bit to do. So we're going to head back, make our way back a little bit because we've missed a bit of the ground coming to get these. And we're going to get the electronic call out and see what we can do there.
Roy's turn. The camera picks up eyes in the field margin and undergrowth. It's hard work. We have a Fox Pro in the field with a rat distress call. Roy throws in a mouth call as well. After 15 minutes, Roy finally gets enough fox in vision to take the shot. It's number 5.
They were not wanting to play, and then all of a sudden that one decided break cover. It had been mooching around in here for a good 20 minutes or so, and then couldn't resist it anymore. We turned over to the silver fox, and he finally came out, and came out into the middle of the field, and then started to trot back off. Managed to stop him, shot that one, and there was another one just on the far side, but that really won't come out and play. So at least we got one of those two, and we'll head off into the main piece of the park now, and hopefully we'll find a few more.
Jim hangs the call in the tree. Darren is behind the rifle on this one, but the angle is an issue, so Roy takes the one in front. A second, hightails it left.
Has it stopped again?
We really are racking up the numbers.
It's just very strange at the moment that everything that we're getting is coming in pairs. So they're obviously been hard at it still, but they're still very keen, so it's all working out at the moment.
The last field gives us a nice round number. Fox number 8. We were all concentrating on what was in front, but David, spinning around with the NV camera, spots this one behind us.
Well, that certainly wasn't a bad night. We ended up with 8, and there was still a few more running around. It was strange, actually. We were commenting that there weren't a lot of rabbits about, and it's not surprising with the amount of foxes that we found on here tonight. And again, I think there's probably another, maybe half a dozen, maybe more. And I'm sure if we come back within a week or two, there'll be other foxes moving in again. You know, as I said the other day, it's always the same with an area like this. You've always got a good supply or a good influx of foxes coming through. One, because of the railway line, and 2, because we're surrounded by a few small villages and towns, and so the foxes are always pushing out. So again, you really have got to keep on top of it and keep shooting. So yeah, no, as I say, very good night. Darren shot well tonight, and I think it's about time to go back home, get a cup of tea, and off to bed.
It's been a successful night with some wonderful through-the-scope footage. We've had a serious level of kit with us tonight, and a combination of NV through-the-scope, the thermal, the lamp plus night vision camera means that even if our carriage was a bit cramped, it was a very efficient way to go foxing. Well done, Roy, Darren and Jim, and if you'd like to see more about night vision, click on the link that's appeared up there beside me. Now for someone who uses night vision for a very different purpose. It's David on the Fieldsports channel, News Stump.
This is Fieldsports Channel News. What killed off Neanderthal man? Scientists say it was an early form of fox hunting. An American anthropologist says that 40,000 years ago, cavemen and women in Europe learned to run packs of wolves to catch mammoths, and so outcompeted Neanderthals. Professor Pat Shipman of Pennsylvania State University says our alliance with the wolf was the end for the Neanderthal. A fox and wild dog bounty in the Australian state of Victoria has resumed after a 3-month hiatus. Victoria Agricultural Minister Peter Walsh says the only good fox is a dead fox. More than 243,000 fox scalps and 1,000 wild dog pelts were handed in between October 2011 and October 2013, with more than $2.5 million paid out under the bounty. The wild dog bounty ends on the 30th of June this year, and the fox bounty on the 31st of October 2015. Thanks to viewer Scott Inglis for sending this in. Over 1,000 camo-clad hunters set up shop outside a government building in Canada on Monday. They want to shoot down big game hunting quotas, which they say wrongly favour guide outfitters and rich out-of-province hunters. The protesting hunters gain the support of politicians from all 3 opposition parties, the New Democrats, Conservatives and the Greens, who lined up to attack the governing Liberals. A pair of Eton College hunting horns owned by a soldier killed in World War I have been reunited with his family 100 years on. The horns, inscribed 1915-16, were owned by Derek Ely, who was master of the Eton College Hounds in 1916 and killed in the Battle of the Somme aged 19 a year later. Found during a house clearance in Suffolk, they were bought at sale for £150 by Robert Ely. And finally, last week Roy called a fox to within just a few feet, but that doesn't impress some of our viewers. Here's one filmed by Steve Thorne, which comes right up to him. And here's a picture of one trying to get into viewer Xavier Gayton's car. You are now up to date with Fieldsports Channel News. Stalking the stories, fishing for facts.
Thank you, David. Now over to what you lot have been up to. It is Hallo Charlie.
Hallo Charlie, Professor from Australia, and I'm out doing rabbit shooting.
Hello Charlie, it's Mike here from Worcester. It's my first night in the high seat. I've just shot a nice fox, about 85 yards.
Hello Charlie, it's Andy here from North Wales again. I'm out doing a bit of daylight foxing in a piece of woodland that we got here. Not much doing at the moment though, other than hailstoning. But yeah, cheers Charlie.
That's it. Please send me your Hallo Charlies via Facebook, YouTube, Dropbox or email charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv. Thank you for those. Please keep them coming. Later in the show we've got driven pheasants in Dorset. First, here are the highlights of the Global Hunting Survey. Across the world, we shoot or catch 290 million birds and animals each year. That's one of the conclusions of our Global Hunting Survey. Results out now. It sounds a lot, but 290 million hunted birds and animals is less than 0.2% of the 150 billion farmed birds and animals slaughtered each year. We also discovered that there are 24 million hunters and shooters across 4 continents. We own nearly 150 million shotguns and rifles and shoot 22 billion cartridges a year. We hunters are animal lovers. We own 27 million dogs and 6.4 million horses. Our survey results break down the results country by country. The UK and Ireland are the keenest dog owners, with 6% of respondents owning 6 or more, and 2% of the world's sport hunters are falconers. We are not posh. The majority, more than half of us, hunt on a farm. A quarter of us have access to a big ranch. Most of the big wilderness hunters are in the USA, Canada, Australia and New Zealand. 3/4 of all hunters drive to their ground. 15% walk or trot. We are careful about what we shoot and how we shoot. 70% of us do not shoot full-bore rifles at live quarry further than 200 yards or metres, even though our rifles are lethal for many times that distance. 90% of us would not shoot an air gun at a rabbit, nor a 12-bore shotgun at a flying pheasant at more than 50 yards or metres. More than half of us reckon there will be more regulation in our sport, not less. But not everyone thinks that's a bad thing. Half don't think there should be any more, but more than 40% think there should. Getting our message across is becoming more and more important to us. 80% of us call ourselves plain talking when it comes to defending our sport in public, with only a handful who keep their sport a secret. We are split on why we belong to hunting organisations. About the same number are in it to support the fight as those who are in it for the insurance package it provides. Hunting brands did well in our survey. We put parts of well-known logos in front of our 2,500 respondents, and they had to choose which of 3 possible companies or brands they come from. In joint second place on 85% recognition are Mitsubishi and John Deere. The winner, just ahead on 86%, is clothing brand Hallo. Thanks to everyone who took part. This is the winner of the survey respondents' prize draw. Rodri Thomas is wearing and carrying more than £1,000, euros and US dollars worth of hunting kit thanks to Hallo John Rothery and Jack Pike. We found it incredibly enlightening, and I hope you did too. Now, pheasants and how to protect them. I know, weird. Gorgeous house belongs to Lord Shaftesbury. Lovely pheasants, his birds too, and something definitely feudal about today. I am here because I've been bought at a World Pheasant Association charity auction. I've been bought to film the shoot. Here is WPA Chief Cockbird Keith Howman.
Your programme very kindly gave us a day's shooting to auction, and in fact the lady standing up the bank there bought the day. So this has raised, in fact, some £700 for the World Pheasant Association, which will be going into research for blackbirds.
Right, that's the plug for the WPA out of the way. Now to non-shooters, the idea of a pheasant conservationist chatting away while his charges are being shot will seem odd, but of course to pheasant shooters there is nothing more natural. What's more unusual these days is an ancient family still owning an estate, like this 6,000-acre estate in Dorset, though there is some confusion about who's who.
The earlier one was Lord somebody.
It was his lordship, was it?
No.
No.
No, not his lordship.
No.
Lord somebody else.
Oh, good.
But I can't remember what it was.
God, we're surrounded by lords today then.
We finally work it out.
We're a small team, but everyone sort of plays a role. I'm sort of in regular discussions with our head keeper Paul about putting the days together and making sure he's happy and helping where I can. And obviously John Milne, who's obviously a host of the day as well. So we all sit down together and plan the season ahead, and everyone sort of pulls together to make the shoot happen. The main aim is to have fun, is to come to a very relaxed atmosphere. You know, we don't want the feeling to be overly corporate, or you know that you're a number and you know we're just sort of processing you and getting on to the next day. It's about, we really want to make sure everyone has a special day and has a really nice experience, not only the shooting but the whole day, the whole experience.
None of this shooting could take place without beaters, and of course the head keeper, Paul Allen, has been on the estate man and boy.
I worked 7 years on the starter beat, if you like, 22 years as the partridge keeper, and that's including 22 years on the Harley beat. And this is my 2nd year as head keeper.
Back among the shooters, and Keith is not just working his spaniel today. He provides a running commentary on the guns and especially the other dogs.
It's that husband of yours.
Is it?
It's her poaching husband.
She's not as fast as she used to be, that's the trouble.
That's it. She's got it. That looked like a very good retrieve, in fact. A long distance runner. Brought back by a very happy black Labrador. Good poaching dog, that one.
Keith's wife, Jean, is shooting today. Former chairman of the Salmon and Trout Association, together with her husband, they have fish and fowls sewn up.
I used to shoot when I was a youngster, and then, other things like children, and I did such a lot of picking up, and I took it up about 10 years ago, partly when Keith was doing less shooting. And so very, very kind friends have invited me, so I can carry on doing it.
I'm a charity cameraman. I also get to stand with the charitable gun who bought a peg here today in aid of the WPA, and she has a story to tell. Shirley runs the Tweedy Chicks, a group of ladies who enjoy shooting a full season together.
We start off with early season partridge, usually in mid-September, and then we have probably about 4 partridge days, and then we start shooting pheasants in November. And we go to Devon, Somerset, so we shoot in Dorset, Wiltshire. We shot a couple of times in Scotland, not very often because most of us are based in the south, and so it's a long way to go.
So how do ladies get involved in the Tweedy Chicks?
We have a Tweedy Chicks website, and if you're interested in coming, you send me an email saying you're interested in joining the syndicate. And generally what happens is I meet up with whoever it is for practice at Bisley, just get to see what they're like, whether they'll fit in the group. Actually, it's the main thing.
We have heard a lot about pheasants today, but the real stars are the partridge. Paul alters course halfway through the day and, instead of providing woodland drives, switches to open fields, ideal for redlegs.
Guns enjoy shooting partridges in January, so if you've got them and you can produce them, we're going to give it a go.
Tiger, we're just entering the gate to the field this time.
Okay, John, we are ready, so as soon as you're lined out, we will start.
John Milne, call sign Tiger, is on the other end of the radio. He runs the shooting here. At the end of a productive day, it's back to the 12th Earl to explain how, when it comes to the estate, he is less feudal overlord and more tightrope walker.
As many people who have these estates do, it's often a juggling act and balancing out the priorities of the farming business, the shoot, and areas you just want to leave and let nature take its course. So it's a balance, really. Yeah.
The sun sets over the family seat, St Giles in Wimborne. The family has been here since the 14th century, and now you can come too. To find out about shooting here, go to shaftesburyestates.com, and for more about the work of the World Pheasant Association, go to pheasant.org.uk. A truly lovely day out, and don't we love a good cause? Now, charity begins at home, but here is the wider world of hunting and shooting on YouTube. It is Hunting YouTube. This is Hunting YouTube, which aims to show the best hunting and shooting videos that YouTube has to offer. Fieldsports channel viewers John and Danny are keen bow hunters from Australia and have started a YouTube channel called DNA Bowhunter that will be featuring short hunting clips and occasional longer episodes from future DVD releases. Give them a like and a share. Staying south, Jack Pershka has returned to the UK from hunting in New Zealand with Josh James Kiwi Bushman. Here is part of their 5-day epic trip after chamois, red deer tar and an unlucky trout. The Hillbilly Weatherman is a YouTube phenomenon. He started making bow hunting films and has now gained a following, giving candid weather reports. Here he is on a youth hunting weekend, not of course hunting real youths, with his son Arik. Have a look at the rest of his stuff too. Now we are in Cornwall. Mission Test Journaliste en Angleterre is a field test for Solignac, the hunting department of the Decathlon sports retail chain. You might spot our own Dominic Holtham taking part. A little more extreme, here is something you don't see every day. William Larkham Jr. is hunting an ice edge for ringed, bearded and harp seals. Lots of meat for the freezer, especially the ringed seal's liver, a delicacy. Ducks Unlimited is launching a new online film series aimed at wildfowlers or waterfowlers, call them what you like. It explores the lives and stories of duck shooters across the USA. The first one, Carving a Legacy, visits a waterfowling family in Long Island, New York. More American duck hunting, and this is the 2014-2015 waterfowl season review from the Fouled Reality channel. He too goes to Long Island, this time in pursuit of brant. And finally, south of the equator again for Argentina, duck hunting La Jacana, which is a noted Duck Hunting Lodge. This is a promo video but reminds you what duck shooting can be like. That's it for this week. If you have a YouTube film you would like us to pop into the weekly top 8, send it in via YouTube or email me the link, charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv. Well, if you don't like those, how about this? George Digweed has been winning in South Africa and battling sandstorms in Dubai. You can hear all about it in Club Digweed. This month on Club Digweed, George is fresh back from competing in South Africa and Dubai, and he's still shaking the sand out of his sandals. He talks us through reaching a milestone in his career and just how tough it is shooting in the desert. On the target front, George dissects close-up targets. They may look easy, but don't be complacent.
Your gun movement has to be restricted.
They can catch you out. He explains how to tackle those tricky bunnies and how to prepare for a simultaneous pair. For more information and to watch the show, go to georgedigweed.com. Well, we are back next week when we will be bringing you all the latest from the IWA Gun Trade Show in Nuremberg. Try to remain excited. I know we are. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe. Please go to our webpage, fieldsportschannel.tv. Click on the links to like us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook and all the rest. Or pop your email address into our constant contact box and we will constantly contact you about Field Sports Britain. It's at 7 PM UK time every Wednesday. This has been Field Sports Britain. Good hunting, good shooting, good fishing, Weidman's Heil, and goodbye.